Hey everybody, hope this finds you doing well. This is Danelle, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about the macroeconomic environment, some of the events of the past week, and of course, do the crypto market update. As you can see here, Bitcoin has dropped over 10% over the past week. It is now trading at $26,180, and a lot of that news comes off of what is speculation as to whether or not Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, sold all of its Bitcoin. Now, SpaceX is a private company, is not a public company like Tesla or any of the other publicly traded companies. So they are not necessarily going to provide public information regarding their financial statements, even though they do make it obviously available to their investors. And so reportedly, a person from, I believe it's the Wall Street Journal, was able to take a look at some of their documents, and it shows that there's a possibility that they sold all of their Bitcoin. We don't know when this happened. We're not sure if this is definitive that they did sell all of their Bitcoin holdings, but on that news, and I'm sure some of the other macroeconomic events that have been going on over the past several months, particularly with regards to the interest rates and everything that's going on with a potential recession, even though we've technically already been in a recession, and we've talked about that in a past video. But there's a lot going on right now, and some people are starting to get a little spooked. And once the Bitcoin price starts to fall, a lot of the other altcoins continue to fall down with it. So as you can see, Ethereum is down over 9%, trading at around $1,600. And as we go on down the line, Cardano is currently trading at 26 cents, down 7%. Dogecoin down 15%. That's another cryptocurrency that is correlated in many ways to Elon Musk. We have Solana that is down 11%, trading at just under $22. Tron still holding in at the top 10 spot, trading at 7 cents. And Polkadot, Polygon are also trading over 10% below their numbers from last week, or from 7 days ago, I should say. So if we look here at the Bitcoin chart, look a little bit closer. If we look over the past month, and really over the last couple of months, since around June or so, Bitcoin was trading in that range. And we've been talking about this several videos in a row, that it's just been kind of range bound for a while between that $28,000 to $30,000 level. And now you see this precipitous drop that happened this week, and it went down to just under $26,000, and it's rebounded just a little bit and now trading over $26,000. Now, we knew that a lot of times when you see a stock or even a cryptocurrency trading in a particular range for an extended period of time, you're usually going to have a larger move either up or down, and we're starting to see that it broke down. Now we have to wait for confirmation as to whether or not it's going to come back up and bounce back up, or if we're going to potentially see a little bit more of downside. But in the meantime, while this is happening, people who believe in Bitcoin, who believe in cryptocurrencies, are finding this as a great shopping opportunity to buy on the dip. So as we look here, we are seeing more and more people who are going into Bitcoin and becoming a Bitcoiner, which is someone who has one or more Bitcoin. And there are now over 1 million addresses that own one BTC or more. This is from May, so obviously it's going to be a little bit more addresses now in August. But there are people who are still continuing to accumulate Bitcoin despite the volatility, despite the ups and downs of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. They are still, a lot of them, dollar cost averaging. And you're also starting to see bigger institutions, some probably behind the scenes that we don't know about yet, that are buying Bitcoin, particularly those that are applying for these Bitcoin spot ETFs. So as you can see here, if we look at the chart, we have now over 1 million BTC addresses with over one Bitcoin in their wallet. And a lot of people have multiple wallets, so we don't know exactly how many people that represents, but we do know that there are at least 1 million distinct wallets that have over one Bitcoin. So that is definitely very bullish for Bitcoin in the long term. And we're going to go now to some of the macroeconomic news that has come out over the past month or so, particularly over this past week, we now see that the mortgage loan rates as a nation in the United States is over 7%. Now, depending on the state, and if you look here and go to Google and just put in mortgage rates, you can find this chart here, and you'll actually be able to go to whatever state you are interested in or whatever state that you live in to see what the average is in that particular state. As you can see, California, which obviously is well known for being one of the more expensive states in the United States, has a 30-year fixed mortgage average of just under 8%. And when we think about just a couple of years ago, right after the pandemic, we had a mortgage interest rate average of under 3%. So that is a huge jump to go from that to where we are now. So a lot of people are finding themselves staying in their homes, not willing to sell at this moment because they don't know where they could go next, particularly with the interest rates being much higher than what they're currently paying. So this could actually have a snowball effect with regards to the housing market as well. Many people are predicting that we're going to have a market crash or at least a market correction in the housing market in the next year or so. A lot of times it can take a little bit longer to take effect. We're already starting to see a pullback in the stock market when you see that the S&P 500 has had a little bit of a correction after a nice 6-month run, particularly in higher risk assets and tech stocks. And now we're starting to see a bit of a pullback. So it remains to be seen whether or not we're going to see more of a pullback or not. We are going to be waiting for the next FOMC meeting, that is going to be in September, and we'll find out if they're going to continue to hike interest rates. They hiked interest rates 25 basis points in the last meeting in July. We have a video regarding that. You're welcome to go back and check that out. And if they hike it up again, then we definitely could see mortgage rates being on average over or around 8%, which is a 20-year high. Also, another issue that many Americans are starting to deal with is credit card balances are hitting a new peak because of inflation, because things are much higher priced. We now are seeing people are using their credit cards and are using credit to buy certain basics and necessities, and the national debt rose to more than 1 trillion in the second quarter. And also we are starting to see that student loan repayments are going to resume, I believe, next month. So that's going to be another thing that is going to be hurting a lot of people when it comes to managing their money, managing their bills. And we're going to start to see, unfortunately, that credit card debt potentially rise even higher than the all-time high that we're already at $1 trillion. So this is a New York Times article talking about the percentage of people who are in credit card debt, as well as how we got to this $1 trillion mark, including what's happening with the Federal Reserve. And the issue is because the Federal Reserve is continuing to raise these interest rates, that also affects not only mortgage rates, but it also affects credit card rates. Anything when you're trying to borrow or loan money, it's going to be more expensive to be able to do that. And because the fact that we have inflation, things are a lot more expensive. People are needing to borrow money to be able to cover costs, unfortunately, for a lot of the basics and necessities to be able to live. So as I mentioned, the FOMC meeting will be held in September. As we see here, the Fed hiked interest rates by 25 basis points at the last meeting in July as they continued their aggressive campaign to try to fight inflation. Now, inflation numbers did come down over the last several months. It peaked up just a little bit in the July report. So we will be interested to see what happens when we get that August report sometime at the beginning of September. But we will see if they continue to hike, given what the inflation rate is, as well as other factors that they take into consideration when they make their decision. So we're going to pivot really quick just to some interesting NFT news before we get out of here. Adidas has teamed up with BAPE, also known as Bathing Ape, to present a limited edition shoe. It's only going to be 100 shoes that are available, and it's called the White Forum 84 Low, and they're going to be dropping through a new auction format. So basically what's going to happen is there's going to be 100 basically access passes called Fresh Forum. There's going to be an auction held starting next week, and if you are able to participate in the auction and win the auction or one of the top 100 bids, and it's going to be going through MoonPay, then with these 100 NFTs, you will then be able to redeem that access pass for a physical sneaker. And I believe it's in September. Yes, September 26th is when you'll be able to redeem for the complimentary physical pair, complimentary quote unquote, because you've actually paid obviously for that access pass. You'll be able to get that physical pair of the Adidas times BAPE Forum Low 84 triple white sneakers. That's a mouthful. And you'll also be able to receive a digital twin NFT. So we're still seeing a lot of major brands, particularly a lot of the shoe brands from Nike, Adidas, Puma. They have all jumped into Web3. And so this is another collaboration where you'll be able to take the Web3 and turn it into a physical item. There's also going to be an NFC chip that is embedded in the shoe to prove authenticity and be able to connect to ownership as well. So this is just another way that the fashion industry is going to be and is being disrupted by Web3. So feel free to go to the website here, collect.adidas.com/BAPE to learn a little bit more about the auction. And it's going live on August 22nd of 2023. So be mindful of that. So obviously there's so much going on in the cryptocurrency space. And as we mentioned, we did see a dip this past week. So we'll definitely keep you posted on what happens in the cryptocurrency market over the next 7 days. Make sure to check us out on X as well as Instagram. We look forward to connecting with you there and keep you posted here on YouTube as well. In the meantime, take care. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.